Hi YouTube, this is your homeboy. You already know who it is. And I just want to talk to you today about my experience with Islam. That experience started in middle school when a friend of mine told me that during the time that a teacher was passing out Easter eggs that he didn't want the Easter eggs, and I asked him why. And he said to me that's because he was Muslim. And I was like, what is that? Because at that time I thought that there was only two choices for people like me in the world. People like me being Haitian, that is. You either was a Christian of some sort or you practice that other religion, the bad one, which is our natural religion, voodoo. But I was told that was bad. So I didn't know there was another option called Muslims or Islam. And then my friend, I was very grateful to him. I guess it's not proper to say his name, but anyway, he started telling me about some realities. He was like, it was the Christians that brought us into slavery, and treated us bad. So why would you want to be a Christian? Jesus was a white man, and I already knew at that point that um, that the history of slavery and the white people and everything was not very nice to black people. So it got me thinking. So I'm like, wow, that's crazy. But it's true. It's rational. It's grounded in history. And at the time, being a Muslim was very popular because I was just getting into rap and hip hop, and I used to read the CD covers. So I'm like the CD information. Like the little books that came with the CDs, and a lot of my favorite rappers, especially like Wu-Tang Clan and a lot of the what they call conscious rappers or whatever, were like you know praise be to Allah and blah blah blah, and they were really five percenters, which is like a variation there of Islam. Anyway, I was really excited about meeting and learning about all these things, and I considered becoming a Muslim. And what really made it like this is the right religion for me was I saw the movie Malcolm X with Denzel Washington, and I really felt like that was like what I wanted to be. I Malcolm X is still like my number one influence. Anyway, so but being from a Haitian household, my mother was not gonna have that, and I knew she would whoop my butt, try and become a Muslim. Like what? Hell no. So I was kind of like really sad about that, and I remember there was this one girl who I wanted to get with. She was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be Muslim and whatever," and boy, and I was like, "Man, this is like a popular thing. I need to get into this movement." As a middle schooler, you're like trying to fit in and all that. So, um, but then I was told about how Islam was spread. They said that it was spread by violence, and I knew that Christianity was spread by violence, and so I was like, wait a minute, now I'm hearing. I was all excited, basically about to be Muslim, like undercover, but then again, like what? It's spread by violence, and automatically I had this image of like an Arabian man, with a knife drawn out, chasing after me or other people, about to say, like just killing people just because they were not Muslim. That was the image that played in my mind. Whether that actually happened or not, it doesn't matter because that's what I had in my mind. And the really key thing was that they said that they treated women very bad, and I had did some studies, but again, I had an image in my mind of a woman all covered up, and I'm very pro female, and I decided not to become even an undercover Muslim because it seemed like Islam was serving some of the same thing that the Christians were serving, which is spreading by violence, um, and depressing women and people who are not like them. So I couldn't do that. But that was my initial introduction to Islam. whether it was right or wrong. This was years ago. I think like over 50, yeah, over 15 years ago, by 15 years ago. Um, and but it was my first impression. So that was good and that was bad. Um, but Luigi went on to, oops, my friend went on to become, Muslim. And years later, I met him and he reverted back to Christianity. So go figure. But that was my first impression, and that was that. So later on, I had to face Islamic influences or hear about it later on because of, the famous events of 9/11. So we're going to talk about that next. All right. So, introduction to Islam to me.